Hi guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Eyes on Leafs podcast. Episode 2.
Stop, please.
Yeah, put it on your. There you go. All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna put on a very special jersey that I have.
It's not that special.
It's actually quite unspecial.
It's not special at all.
Very special, actually.
Yeah.
I
Fanatics
mentioned it
breakaway.
last podcast.
You want to stop yelling?
I don't
Joe
believe
Thornton. So I'm just gonna you keep on with the intro. I'm just
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what else you want to say. Just say.
it. Some fascinating stuff, guys.
Yeah. Great listening experience as well.
Yeah.
So he took about 15 seconds to put on a jersey.
That was 5 at most.
Yeah. Shut up.
And
Okay.
the jersey reads number 97,
Jumbo
Joe
Thornton.
Thornton,
Yeah.
with
Joe
the Toronto
Thornton.
Maple Leafs.
Yeah. Okay. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
That's good.
Horrible. Now that I'm here talking to you.
All right. So let's get started because I've had enough of Seb already. This is broken. We're like last podcast. We're gonna start a general league discussion, and then we're gonna move into our Leafs talk. We've had a couple of preseason games here to get into with the Leafs, so I think we have some topics of stuff we want to talk about. And they play again tonight, so today is against Montreal. But yeah, there was some news around the league first, so we'll get started with that right now. Today, Buffalo announced that Rasmus Dahlin will be their new captain. After Kyle Pozo was the last captain in Buffalo.
Oh,
But yeah.
Yeah, I forgot they had a captain that recently.
Yeah. So yeah, Dahlin named captain. I think it was an obvious choice, right, guys?
Yeah, I don't see who else would really be captain.
There was some Alex Tuck for captain dialogue like 2 or 3 years ago, but like he's not going to be there as long as Dahlin is.
They should have made it Jack Eichel, honestly.
He's a great saver, by the way, Jack Eichel.
Yeah, they should have made
Yeah.
Jack Eichel captain.
He was.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
But
you're
like,
the
I don't know why
bit,
they got whatever.
It wasn't that funny. Okay.
Fair
wasn't.
enough.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Dahlin has been there the longest, I think, out of anyone on that roster. I don't think there's anyone that's...
Which is wild. I remember him getting drafted like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy, but I think he is the longest tenured Saber right now.
I don't know who else would. Yeah, because Zemgus Girgensons is in Tampa
Tampa
now.
now.
Yeah, he's gone.
Zemgus Girgensons was the only other guy.
Biggest forward addition for the Lightning this offseason.
Noted all-star is Zemgus Girgensons.
Oh my god.
That's Boston, buddy. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think... Yeah, I don't think there's much more we can say about this. I mean, I think it's the right choice. Dalton's a great defenseman, and I'm kind of... As a Leafs fan, I don't want to see it, but I think it'll be cool to see him with an actual team around him. If Buffalo ever gets there.
Great defense core.
Yeah, I mean they have some potential. Obviously, they built up their decor, I think, pretty well this year with Byram and Dahlin, obviously. But is there anything else you guys want to say about the captaincy?
No, but you know who I forgot is a Buffalo Sabre?
Who?
Sam Lafferty.
James Reimer as well, actually.
And Nick Abe-Kubel.
Oh my god, they want to
Yeah.
be us so bad.
Yeah, and-
they want to
yeah.
be the Leafs so bad.
Jason Zucker.
Yeah,
That's great.
James Reimer.
Ryan McLeod. We never talked about that trade. That trade was
They
wild.
might just barely miss the playoffs this year.
I will never pick Buffalo to make the playoffs because they fucked me on so many different occasions. Like last year, I thought they were gonna be better, and they were.
Tage
Actually, that's
Thompson?
not true because last year I didn't like the goaltending situation.
Tage Thompson screwed us both over in fantasy
Dude.
last year. Like he
Awful
was
year,
really
down year.
awful.
Yeah.
I feel the same about Ottawa. Like they're just
They're
Ottawa's the
perpetually
team that I
ass.
always think will be better, and they're never.
They're
they're just
really bad.
They're just
Yeah.
the Leafs, but like worse.
We'll see how that goes this year with Allmark. I think that should help. They finally got a goalie, and I think we'll
Well, we'll
see.
see. Maybe he gets ruined in Ottawa.
I mean, we'll see what happens if Allmark isn't good. Then I think this is more of an Ottawa problem than it is.
I doubt.
think we're there
He was
already.
good in Buffalo when they were.
Yeah, he was unreal.
Absolute
He was
shit.
unreal in Buffalo.
I remember I wanted him
I did too.
instead of Mrazek.
All right, so moving on. Yeah, Mrazek that was a weird time to be a Leafs fan.
Oh
Mrazek
my
was
God.
awful, man. He was so bad.
Mrazek Campbell.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, Dylan Guenther signs an 8-year extension, 7.14 million AAV with the Utah Hockey Club. Any thoughts there?
I'm a big fan. It honestly reminds me a little bit of the Nylander contract. They're not similar situations. Nylander had two back-to-back 61-point seasons, but Guenther was on I think a 59-point pace this year.
I don't think he's played that many games in the NHL.
He
Actually,
hasn't played that many. It's like not even 80, I don't think.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize.
It's definitely a big bet, but I think he'll.
Yeah, he only played 45 games last year, and he played 33 in 22-23.
Yeah, 50 points in 78 games.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: he had 45 games and 35 points in those 45
That's
games
what I'm
last
saying.
year.
Like it was like a 59-point pace.
He also played 29 games in the AHL last year.
yeah,
They should
he
have
did.
kept him up, or unless he started the year down there.
I
I
think
don't
he
know what
started. I
happened.
can't remember, but I think he'll grow into that deal. 7.14?
7.14, yeah.
I feel like that's honestly that might even be like a better contract than what Nylander. That's the comparable I have in my head. They're very similar.
Yeah, I mean,
similar
with
players.
How much the cap's gone up since then too.
Yeah,
I think
like I think it's fair. I like that deal a lot for
I'd love
Utah.
it.
I don't mind it either.
I almost just
Slavkovsky's
said
deal.
I almost just said Arizona. You like that better than Slav's deal, really?
Oh yeah,
Really?
Oh yeah, I do. I think
Really?
talking out of my ass here a little bit, but yeah, I think I think Guenther's going to be a really good player. I really like him.
I feel like the issue.
There's similar AAVs.
I don't want to ramble off topic here, but I feel like the thing about Slavkovsky that makes him so valuable is just his
Size.
his tools.
Yeah,
his
we
size.
were all wrong.
He's
by
a
the way.
physical guy. Oh yeah, no, we were all wrong.
I'm not wrong yet. I'm not wrong yet.
Yeah, he's proven nothing. Shit player.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Anyways, 7.6.
See him tonight.
I don't know. They're very similar deals. I just think Slavkovsky gets a little bit more value just because of his size, his style of play. It's a little more rare to find. But I think the intangibles.
Intangibles.
No, I think Slavkovsky overall though is a better player than Guenther, but I still think that Guenther deal is going to be a steal for Utah.
Absolutely.
That feels like one of those franchise mode contracts.
Yeah, another young player that got a deal done with his team is Dawson Mercer. He signed a 3-year deal worth $4 million per year.
Literally broke
not
the day
surprised.
after we posted last
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, I think I talked about it in the last podcast where Freeman thought it was going to be a bridge deal, and he was confident it was going to be a bridge deal, and it ended up being a bridge deal.
What was it, 2 times 3.5?
3 years,
I think
4
you're
mil.
thinking of Perfetti.
I am
Yeah.
thinking of Perfetti.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get to
that's a good
Perfetti
deal,
later.
too.
Similar players.
Yeah. Anything to say on that? Does that?
Solid deal. He had a rough year last year. Still had 20 goals and a
Yeah,
down
but
year.
everyone
He
on the
had-
Devils did, so.
Yeah, that's why I don't really hold him to it. He had almost 30 the year before. I think it's a
Yeah.
solid bet. He'll bounce back for
It
sure.
probably follows a similar blueprint to the Shane Pinto, Cole Perfetti
Yeah, they're all
contract.
kind of the
but
same mold.
He got the extra year, so
Yeah.
extra $1 million or so on there.
Yeah, I think
Makes
he's,
sense.
he's worth it for
Yeah,
sure.
the other deal that got done is obviously Cole Perfetti with Winnipeg.
Yep.
We already mentioned that, but
We talked, yeah.
that one was a 2-year deal worth 3.25 AAV.
Yeah,
That'll
I
be
think
good for them.
makes sense.
I think we talked about last podcast the comparisons to Pinto, and
Yeah.
they got a pretty similar deal here.
Like out of the three, I think right now Cole Perfetti's the worst, but I think Cole Perfetti has the highest ceiling.
They got
At least as an all-around player.
They gotta trust him a little bit more, put him in more opportunities
For
to
sure,
score
yeah.
points. I think he's a really talented player that hasn't really gotten the minutes he might need to really
Yeah.
show it.
It's
But
looking. It's
he
looking
still had
like,
19 goals last year in 71
yeah.
games. It's not a bad point
doubled-
or goal
almost.
total.
He almost doubled his goal, more than doubled his goal scoring.
I mean, from a Winnipeg team that hardly added anything to their offense in the offseason,
he's gonna get more time for sure.
You better hope he does, because he could.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 19 goals last year. Maybe he could
Yeah.
sneak around 30.
I'm being so dead ass. I don't really like Winnipeg's roster this year.
Oh, it's
Really mid, and I don't know how new coach is gonna
Hellebuck.
really settle in there. I mean,
Hellebuck.
Hellebuck, yeah, but
That's
like,
it.
there's only so far you can go when Neil Pionk is your second best defenseman.
Yeah.
Like Dylan Sandberg is their third best defenseman.
Brendan Dillon.
He's on New Jersey.
Yeah, he left.
No way.
he's
Oh
from
my
New
god,
Jersey.
you're right.
And yeah, like their defense is shot right now.
Is that right? Dylan
It's literally
Sandberg.
Josh Morrissey, and then it falls off to Neil Pionk. Their defense is pretty bad right
It's
now.
crazy.
Yeah, not a
Their
big
forward
fan.
depth is not that
I think
great.
I had Winnipeg in my predictions on Editor and Leaf. I think I had them 4th.
Shameless plug again.
Yeah, another plug.
We're up to 2. That's okay.
Whoa!
That's what, this, is, that's what this is meant for. That's
Whoa!
what this is meant-
I
it's
didn't.
okay.
I didn't plug it yet today. That's the first one today. There'll be more. Don't worry about it. All right. And the other one is Kevin Lankinen signing a 1-year deal worth $875,000 with
Yeah.
Vancouver. I don't know if I want to talk about less of the Lankinen deal, but more about the goaltending situation in Vancouver. That's been staying really interesting there.
Yeah.
Lankinen played last year with Nashville. He had 24 games and had a 908 save percentage.
Yep.
Not terrible.
3.44 goals saved above average and a 5.56 goal save above expected. So
I think
not
pretty
bad
average
numbers.
goaltender.
I
It's
think
not
he
bad.
showed he can be a solid backup. I'm honestly, curious as to what's gonna happen when Demko comes back, because it's sounding like, from what I've been hearing or what I've been seeing, he's
He
making
has
good.
sources.
Yeah,
you have no
I
sources,
have
dude.
sources.
You have no sources.
No, from what I've been seeing, it seems like he's making good progress. He's gonna come back eventually. Shilovs, I think that's how you say it, right? I don't know how to say it. Shilovs. He played yesterday or whatever.
Did he?
Their last he played their last preseason
Okay, that's
game.
really good news.
He had
I think
a huge highlight reel save.
Did he?
So okay.
No, what?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know he played.
Yeah,
I thought he was
played.
still out.
He had some
No.
crazy highlight reel save.
She loves Lankinen. It's gonna be that serves them just
I
fine
think-
until
yeah.
Demko gets back. As long as they have Demko for the playoffs, I think they'll be
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just curious what happens to Lincoln and after.
thing
I
that's
feel
from-
like he could be a waiver pickup.
The thing that's
somewhere.
concerning about Demko is that I think they were talking. Where did I hear this? Fans listened to Overdrive, and they were talking about how
The
there's
injury.
the injury that Demko
crazy.
has, no other
No
hockey
other-
player
yeah.
has had.
and 5 soccer players.
Yeah,
I saw
so-
that on SDPM.
Yeah,
They
so
were
they
talking about
don't know they don't really know what to do. Like they said he's behind in his development because they had no idea what to do, and now
wow.
he's progressing fine, but he was behind where he probably should have been if they figured it out earlier.
Yeah.
And they're still not 100% sure because they just don't have a comparable right now. So we'll see how Demko how that Demko situation is going to play out, because I think when Demko is healthy and he's playing, he's arguably top 5 goalie in the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's unbelievable. You saw what he did in the bubble against Vegas. And even since then, he's been unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, an injury of that nature, I'm sure people are worried if he's ever gonna be what
same.
he was.
It feels. I wonder if it goes longer than the Vasilevsky injury last year. Because if it goes longer, then they could genuinely be screwed.
Well,
I mean,
they're,
it's getting close to that.
they're in
It might. It's.
they're in trouble because Shilas, I think, is also dealing with an injury. If I'm not wrong, I think he sustained one.
recovered.
He might have
because he
maybe
played.
recovered.
I know for a fact he played.
Okay.
If it was yesterday or the day before or something.
The other thing about Shilas is that he hasn't had a big sample size, so I don't really know what
That's
to
also
expect
true,
from
yeah.
him for a full NHL season. Like, obviously, everyone saw what he did in the playoffs, but it's like, if he hasn't had a big run in the NHL, how are we supposed to know what to expect from him, right?
He was pretty mid in the regular season last year. He played, I think, only 5 games, but
He's still young, too. I think he's like 22 or 23.
Yeah, he's pretty.
He's 23 years old.
Yeah,
They're
so...
really good with their goaltending right now, Vancouver. They just,
Well, I mean, I don't know if they are. We have to see how the injuries are going to play out, right?
Okay,
you get what I
well-
mean. They.
Here's
They
one for
produce
you.
good.
He played 4 games. Shilovs played 4 games with the Canucks last season. 881 was his save percentage.
Yeah, so
He was unreal in the playoffs, obviously, but
Yeah.
we'll have to
Yeah.
see what a full season of him looks like, because I think they're going to have to rely on him more than maybe they'd want to, having Demko on dealing with that injury. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But for Lankinen, I think I like the deal. It's just good insurance, I think, more than anything.
He's proved he's a solid.
If he just if he just claimed on waivers, he just claimed on waivers. It's not like they spent any assets on him to
Yeah.
get him into Vancouver. They only gave him just above league min in 1 year, so I don't know if
Yeah.
it'll be that big of a deal.
I mean, if he's better than Shilovs,
Yeah,
Yeah, because she wants to go back to the AHL, right? Is he waiver exempt?
I'll find out.
probably. I don't think he got a contract.
Well, he was an
Or
RFA,
was he
was he
an
not?
RFA?
He was
Yeah,
an
so
RFA.
maybe he
Was
might
he
be on a
really?
1 year.
Yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he is he's not waiver exempt, and he does have to pass through. Because I think if one of
He's
the
exempt.
he's exempt.
exempt?
Okay.
Okay,
All
cool.
right. So yeah, I mean, well, there's an option then if Shilas isn't playing that well, or maybe, if he's not playing that well and Demko is coming back and playing well, then you could just send Shilas down, or if he's playing well and Lankinen isn't what you thought he'd be, then that's fine too. Like I said, losing him on waivers isn't a big deal. You didn't
Yeah,
sign him
no,
for
it's-
much. You didn't trade anyone for him, so you're not losing
I
much
was
there.
just saying what I thought might happen.
Yeah.
He remember Colin Delia on
Yeah.
Vancouver?
Yeah.
I don't know why I just thought of that.
He was also in Winnipeg. In Chicago.
Colin Delia
Chicago.
was on Winnipeg?
He was in Chicago. Was he on
I know
Winnipeg?
he was in
I think
Chicago.
he was on the Jets. He might have
think
been on the
for-
Manitoba
he
He
Moose.
was in.
He was for sure with Chicago, but
I know Eric Comrie's been on Winnipeg like 5
Vancouver. He was
times.
with Vancouver
Was he not
and
with Winnipeg?
Chicago, not Manitoba Moose. I think that's what
Yeah,
you're thinking
where
of.
Okay,
Oh,
same
man,
shit.
okay, yeah, same
It's not
thing.
the same thing, but We'll
He was
let it
with the
slide.
Winnipeg
He was
organization.
in Manitoba.
He was in the province.
Eric Comrie's been with Winnipeg like 3 different times.
Yeah, he was also with
That
Buffalo.
one's
wasn't
funny.
he?
Yes,
So is
he
Laurent
got
Brossoit.
a crazy ad deal in Buffalo and
You're
sucked.
right. Yeah, he was not good.
Yeah, I wanted the Leafs to sign him, then we signed Mrazek, and that ended up probably being.
I think both
better.
have been terrible.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mrazek's been good in Chicago though.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a lot of pressure. It's like you face so many shots and so many chances, and people are like, "What are you
Yeah.
supposed?" Like, I don't know. I think it's a decent situation there. We'll see. I think Chicago's. I don't know. We didn't plan on talking about Chicago, but I think they're a little bit of an interesting team heading into the season. They obviously signed Bertuzzi.
So many veterans.
There's a lot of vets
Craig
there.
Smith.
Yeah, as you guys learned today on the street, right? Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I think you could see some guys getting dealt at the deadline too. Obviously, there's also signed TJ Brody,
yeah.
another former Leaf. So.
Alec Martinez.
Yeah.
Sent TJ Brody back to Toronto at the deadline.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, he was
Love
terrible
you,
last
you
year.
did great, TJ.
For 4
but
years,
I think
yeah.
our time has passed.
Yeah. Are you guys want to get into Leafs talk now?
Yeah, sure.
I guess so.
All right. So I think one of the biggest things I want to talk about before we actually get to the games is I one of the intermissions. I think it was the first or second intermission during the first preseason game. Friedman had a PR piece. We'll call it. I think it was a PR piece. I thought it was a PR piece with Marner. They briefly talked about the contracts and also talked about how a great guy, great teammate he is, which doesn't surprise me when they're trying to deal. And I think a lot of the fan base is kind of sick of him and how his agent Darren Ferris handled the contract last year, or not last year, the last time he was up as an RFA. And so obviously I talked about how they had the interview, but I think the biggest headline was that Marner's open to contract talks throughout the year. He did say he let his agent handle it, unless there's he really needed to be in that room. But I think you hear a lot of NHL players just say, "Yeah, I'm not talking about contracts during the year. Like we'll wait until the off season. I don't want to talk about it," which I also think is a little bit bullshit. Like I think if you had the deal, like you're talking throughout the year, but yeah, Marner is open to talking about his contract throughout the year.
I would rather give $14 million to Jake McCabe for 8 years.
I wouldn't. That's just me.
You should have ran that by Tree Living when we walked past him today.
Yes, I should.
Oh my god. Yeah. So for all the fans out there listening, let me tell this story.
Not many.
Us.
All 27 viewers.
How many did we even get on the last one?
27, I'm
Was it
pretty
27?
sure. Last time I checked, it was 27.
How many people watched more than like a minute?
No clue. I'd have to double check the
Check
the
analytics on
stats.
that. I did not check.
But anyways, we're walking down Bay Street, and I see
Big Bradley.
remarkably tall bald guy, and I'm like, I said that guy, hey, it's Brad Treliving, because I thought he kind of looked like Brad
As a
Treliving.
joke.
And then we all kind of look at him for a
It's
second.
like, holy shit,
and it's
that's
like that's Brad Treliving.
Yeah.
fucking Brad.
And he hops in a
James-
Cadillac
yeah,
Escalade,
Cadillac, yeah.
and then he turns around back to
It's
Scotiabank
a
Arena.
3-minute walk, by the way.
Yeah.
Brad
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Hey, you might as well have taken a plane.
Yeah. Might as well flew in there.
Take the chopper over.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Any thoughts on what would you guys think that? What would you give Marner as a contract?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I got 12 by 8.
12 by 8.
I think is probably
Being rational. over
that's the fair deal, but I think I worry that the Nylander thing is going to happen again, and he's going to have a fantastic start to the season. Then he'll end
Yo.
up getting like 13.5 or something crazy.
here. I think they shouldn't necessarily negotiate during the year. I mean, you run the risk of losing him, but at this point,
They should have traded him this offseason, dude. Or
They
when
should've traded him
before
in
the
2021.
Yeah.
it's
Dude, they should have traded.
2022
No, they should have
or
traded him a while ago.
2023.
They should have traded him before the no trade clause kicked in.
fired their fucking GM.
I mean, there's another angle to this too. They could have not drafted 3 centers.
3 wingers, you mean? Or
Well,
centers?
They drafted 3 centers.
Marner and Nylander were
Nylander,
both
Matthews,
Oh, yeah,
all
yes,
drafted
yeah.
as centers.
They
Oh, yeah, you-
they,
I
They
mean-
could have made one of them a center.
They
Or
could have
two
made
of
one
them
of
a
the
center.
center.
Sorry.
Yeah, they could have made one of.
Well, I think the plan was to
like-
have Nas plays up the middle and JT play too,
I
right?
always forget about Nas.
Well, no, but like they were developing Marner and Nylander as wingers before they signed.
I agree.
Tavares.
They should have picked one and just said, "Yeah, you're a
Put them
center
as
now."
center,
Like
like-
you had the time. I mean, I don't know if
Well,
you
not
had-
even as a center now. They drafted them as a center.
didn't
I mean-
really. Marner didn't play center the whole junior career.
He played center. Then fucking
drafted
make
him as a winger.
They should have developed Nylander at
Yeah.
center.
There are
then.
players in this league that like do both too, aren't there? Like, I know,
Yeah.
not many, I don't think.
I mean, you have guys that are older
Stammer
that, well, you get older and you transition out to the wing because you don't have to skate as much. You don't have as much responsibility, but...
Claude Giroux did that too, I think, eh?
Is he on the wing now?
He's on the wing
Are you
now.
talking about, like, just elite guys that do it?
I mean, not
Because,
necessarily.
like, there's, like, Max
Yarncrow.
Domi,
Max
Callie
Domi.
Yarncrow,
Yeah.
Pontus Holmberg.
Yeah. These guys just do it.
Yeah, I had to mention Pontus Holmberg at
I
least
had
once
to
a
get a reference
podcast.
in
Did you
for
see his
Pontus.
fight?
Dude, I'm so pissed off. I was
fought.
at
He
school.
dropped-
I
dude,
was
I-
at school. I was so pissed
No, it was
off.
unreal. It was a good. I mean,
I
it was
watched
a good
it
fight.
after.
It was a good fight for what I thought Pontus Holmberg would bring to the
Yeah.
table in a
Who did he
NHL fight. Reinhardt, I think his name was.
Oh,
It's,
Cole Reinhardt.
Cole
Yeah,
Reinhardt,
yeah,
I
yeah.
hate that guy. He dropped 4 points on us.
4-point
Yeah.
performance in
4
preseason.
points.
Yeah.
Never
You're
gonna
not,
hear about that
who
guy
do you
ever
think you are?
All right, let's
I'm
say
calling
wait.
out Cole Reinhardt
Okay.
right now. Who are you?
Did he shove you in a locker? All right.
Crazy.
We're gonna stick. I want to stick on the Marner deal a little bit for a little bit longer before we get to the actual preseason games. But I think that going back to what you said about 12 by 8, I think that's about fair. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's outplayed the deal that he got coming out of his
I think it's
RFA.
kind of been under. If you look at the comparables, especially at the time that signed, like, I think the biggest one's Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
He got less.
Mikko Rantanen got less. Braden Point got less. And Braden Point's a center and has scored 50 goals.
And he's just better than Marner. Like,
Better than Marner, yeah. Like, I feel like, I don't know, Kyle Dubas actually got, like, put in a locker, closed, and, like, he got, oh my god, what's it called when you, like, fucking... They're like on the swirly. Thank you. He got fucking swirlied by Darren Ferris.
I mean, Mikko Rantanen, 9.25. Kirill
Like-
Kaprizov, 9 million.
Dude.
Sam Reinhart, 8.6.
Like, what the fuck?
And then you got Big Willie Nylander at 11.5.
Even
Phil
that,
Forsberg at
like-
8.5, just kicking in this year. Braden Point at 9.5. Like the list goes on with these guys. Obviously,
Chuck at 9 point. I mean, he's in Florida, but still.
that's a factor. Elias Pettersson obviously at 11.6. I think that's probably
Like,
more in the range what Marner's going to get.
Is the Toronto tax that bad? Like is playing in
Here's the
Toronto like
He's
that
gonna
bad?
he's gonna want more than William Nylander.
he shouldn't get more than William Nylander.
He shouldn't.
I don't think so either. I think he should get the same.
I
think
thought
11.5.
I thought we overpaid Willie too. I
Yeah,
thought I
we
don't
did.
think Treliving should have given him that much. I
Yeah,
think he's a
that's a
better
big
player than
contract.
Willie, but I
They
don't
should
think he
have
should
given
get.
him. They should have given him the 9.2 at the start of the season before
Yeah.
he went out and played at a like 115 point pace.
It was
Give
so
him a
obvious
contract
it was
and then he
that was
fell
gonna
the fuck
happen.
off.
I'm not too worried
Well,
about
he
the
didn't really
Nylander contract though.
The thing about the Nylander contract is at least Nylander
terms-
scores in the playoffs. Like I know you're gonna see him
Yes,
in.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I'm not as pissed about the Nylander contract because at least he shows up.
He's the
And,
best of the core four in the playoffs.
He,
It's not really.
he literally
He was
is.
going to get somewhere between 9.5 and 11.5. The 2 million
Yeah.
difference, like as the cap goes up, it's not going to make a huge deal, and we know that
Yeah,
he's going to
I'm
be
fine with the deal,
the
honestly.
guy for the next 8 years.
No,
you
it
know
just
what I mean?
sucks that we lose another deal. Like it feels like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who the GM
Yeah.
is. We did dummy in every single discussion.
I feel like
with
this
our
Marner deal we're
players.
not losing on though because
We'll see.
I'd say they won on the Matthews deal.
I don't know if they
considering
won.
what-
I thought it was just fair value. I thought it was
Well,
fine.
yeah, I'd say to get Austin Matthews at what's might
only-
be a discount.
They only got him for 5 years though.
That's also true, I guess.
And
but
was it not a 4-year deal?
it was 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, it was 4 years.
Was it
4 years. Yeah.
13.4?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess it's whatever. You do whatever you can to sign Matthews. That's a completely different situation. Like when Matthews got 11.6, that was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because you do whatever the hell you can to keep Austin Matthews.
My reaction to the Matthews contract was, "Oh, he's signed. Thank God. We don't have to go
Yeah,
through this a
like-
third time."
Well, we're gonna have to because the thing is with the Matthews deals, they haven't signed him long term at all since he's got here. Like they signed him 5 years. Which I mean, it could be long term.
I'm very
I think
surprised
it's
more
just-
NHL players don't do what Matthews
Yeah,
is doing.
he's just being smart. He's just
Yeah.
like because he knows in 4 years he's going to earn more than he would have if he signed an
Yeah,
8-year
like-
deal last year. So he'll probably go up to what 15, 16 on his next contract.
Probably. I mean, he's gonna be
Probably,
making more than Draisaitl, probably, right?
100%.
Probably didn't pass McDavid.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Depending on what McDavid get. McDavid could get like what 16, 17.
Depends where he wants to sign.
He'll be 31.
We all know McDavid's has a passion. League min in Toronto. Let's get it done.
Look, I already
Yeah,
have your
97.
number. We already have your number. It's open. Joe's
All right.
out of here.
All right. So you guys want to get into the preseason games now? Like what?
Sure.
All right.
do it.
All right. So
do
just
it.
some quick injury updates before we actually get into this. Matthews has an upper body injury. He won't play tonight. Berube already said that wasn't serious.
I saw him practicing today.
Yeah,
on Twitter. He looked great.
He stayed out for the extra practice session or the extras. I think David Alter was saying. Yarncroke has a lower body injury, won't play again tonight, and Steven Lorentz is practicing again, and I think he's in the starting lineup. I think he got called up for tonight's game.
I don't know actually. Can we check that?
Yeah, let me find out. I had the roster up
While we
here.
talk about this.
Yeah, so there's not much there. Obviously, Minton still dealing with that high ankle sprain. I don't
He'll
think.
be gone
Yeah,
for
we're
the
not.
next at least 2 months.
He'll be a Marley this year. Maybe.
Start at least.
Yeah, maybe we'd call him up if you end up needing
Injuries,
somebody.
yeah.
But
Yeah, Lawrence is in the lineup.
yeah,
Nice. Okay, so we got to see that finally.
yeah. But yeah, what did you guys think about the first 2 games?
I thought that I honestly the players I was watching for were Max Pacioretty, Nikita Grabenkin, and Easton Cowan. Those are the guys that I wanted to see have a big performance, and Pacioretty and Grabenkin were definitely noticeable. Obviously,
Cowan was a little more pedestrian.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
I want to stay on Cowan for a little bit here because obviously they brought in guys, and it's gonna be more of a fight for a spot on this team with Pacioretty being here, and I think they like Lawrence too. Like maybe they sign him.
probably to fill in for Dewar when he's.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And there's also Dewar. Obviously, I forgot about him. He still has that shoulder surgery. That he's
I feel
dealing
like
with.
they view Dewar as like a really big part of their PK for the future.
Yeah. Well, they brought it. They
So it's
traded
gonna
for
be
him
tough.
just for the penalty kill
Yeah.
last year at the deadline. But the thing I want to say about Cowan is that he really needs to start picking it up here. I think tonight he's on a line with
Yeah,
Marner and Domi.
Yep.
If
I'm
he
excited for
wants,
that.
if he really wants to make the NHL this year, which I haven't been convinced at all this offseason, he's got to be in the. I think he's probably going back to London for another year. I think it's fine.
They're able to put in a bid to request to put him in the AHL too. I think.
I don't think they are they?
Ooh, can they?
I think that's something they can do.
I don't think they're allowed to play. I think he's too young to play in the AHL. I think.
He's
Yeah,
too
but
young, but I know Shane Wright got the exception.
Yeah,
but that was
yeah.
more. I think there's a
That's
very
about it.
specific stipulation. I think where you have to be scratched in the NHL for a certain amount of games to
okay.
then be sent. Because I know Shane Wright was scratched for
Isn't that
6 straight
conditioning
games.
stint almost.
It's almost because then
'Cause
you
then you
go
have to
down
get called
play
back
for
up,
you
right?
play for 10 games or something. It probably is less, and then you come back up. So they may be able to do something like that. I doubt.
Yeah.
The OHL rarely allows that to happen, so I doubt they'll.
They need to change the
doubt they'll
rules
allow
for
it,
this.
but-
Honestly, I think it's so stupid that guys have to go back to the O regardless if
they want to
outplayed
retain their talent.
I know I get that, but it's just like
You're in development league.
Yeah.
You know your place.
Know your role, pal.
Especially when you're the
OHL, I'm
London
calling
Knights.
you out.
okay, no one's listening.
No one's listening. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Listen, I was excited for Cowan, and I thought I really want him to make an impact because I want to see him on this team. I think for the Leafs, it's so valuable to have entry level talent on this team, or talent on entry level contracts. When you're paying so much for Nylander, Tavares, Marner, and Matthews, and then also Mo is also making a large chunk of
7.5.
change. Yeah, like you have to find talent on cheap deals, and I think we haven't really had that much within this era of the Leafs.
This is the first time in as long as I can remember that they've actually had a good roster of guys on their way up. You got Cowan, Grabenkin, which you mentioned obviously already. You got guys like Dennis Hildeby and Bobby McMahon came up last year. And
Niemela hasn't dressed yet, right?
Who?
Niemela? No. I'm. He's in a very weird territory. I think he turns 23 this year if he's not already.
No way.
Yeah,
Dude, he's old. Unk status.
Not really.
Probably unk status for a prospect.
Wasn't Muzzin a late bloomer though? Then he didn't
Muzzin
leave
was
at
a late
25.
bloomer.
It's possible.
When people were shitting on Liljegren for calling him a bust, Muzzin was the biggest not comparison, but the biggest situational comparison I use because
I would like to
you said,
say-
Muzzin didn't have a consistent NHL role until he was 24.
I'd like to say that Liljegren has also been very disappointing in the one game he played, and I think I wouldn't.
It's preseason.
I know, but he
For
hasn't
him,
looked good.
for a situation like him, I'm not concerned. It's more the guys that are kind of on that bubble, like Cowan.
I get that. I
stuff
don't know.
like that,
I
where
want to
if they
see.
have a bad performance.
I want to
that's
see
what I'm concerned.
Liljegren take a spot. He's been.
That's also very true. You know what? I get that.
Every time it feels okay, yeah, this is there's an opening. You could get into the top 4 here.
Yeah.
He plays awful, and he plays himself out of the role.
Yeah.
He is a right-handed defenseman on the Toronto Maple Leafs. He has had
You
this
should
opportunity
be.
for
I know.
like 4 years.
You
All he's
should
had to
be
do is just be
making-
good.
Yeah.
How is he making $3 million?
They traded
I don't
Sandine
understand.
too. Like the guy that's your biggest like
Mid.
yeah, he was, but the guy that's your biggest comp got traded away. Like it's your role, dude. Like
Yeah.
the thing that frustrates me with him is that when I don't think it was the last playoff. I think it was the playoff before that. He had this rule where like Keefe gave him a run of games, and he played himself like heading into the playoffs, and he played himself out of it.
Yeah, we put Justin Hall in
Yeah,
instead of him.
and as much as I don't like Hall, and I wasn't I wasn't Keefe's biggest fan. Lilligren was playing
it was
terrible.
Lilligren's
Like,
fault.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
played
can't
himself out of the
justify
role.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's like eventually he has to take it here because we got to know what we have in Lilligren.
yeah,
I'm hoping because I like the player type. Like he's a puck moving, right hand shot. That's valuable.
Yeah.
But he has to start playing better if he wants that
he
role.
I
He didn't
wouldn't-
sign a 2-year deal, did he?
He did. It was 2 years. I wonder if he's like, at this point, I feel like it's either he's the bottom pair puck mover or he's just gone. Like
Which
I'm
we
not
don't
convinced he's on.
We don't
this
see
team
bottom
this year.
pair puck movers a lot in the
That's
playoffs.
what I'm saying. Like I don't think honestly, I feel like when they signed Hockenpah officially, I was like, yeah, this guy's cooked.
We'll
Like,
see because we don't know what
cooked on
Hawkenpaw's
this
actually
team.
going to bring because we don't
We
know.
don't know
what he's
either.
gonna
I
bring
guess,
one
yeah, it's
knee.
just
One knee, yeah.
It's not
One
necessarily
knee and a bunch of bones in
it's
the other
not-
leg.
It's not necessarily that I think Hockenpah is better. Like I think Hockenpah is a guarantee. It's that I think their vision is just different than what Lilligren is to this team at this point. Lilligren really has to prove himself, and I think again the other big signing was OEL that I think was kind of an eye opener. Like okay, yeah, they have other visions for this top four than Lilligren.
Well, I think you still needed the OEL deal. Like, we lost Brody, right? So I think he almost fills that role more. Although maybe you could say
he's more
Tanev fills
offensive
it.
for sure. Tanev's definitely, I think, the Brody
Replacement, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm looking at Lilligren to start the start of the regular season. He needs to have a really strong start to really solidify a role in this top six. Because, listen, I'm not the biggest fan of some of the moves that the Leafs made this offseason. I thought OEL was a little bit of an overpayment. I'm not the biggest fan of him.
It's just the term for me on that one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, continue.
We'll see what OEL we get. If we get the Florida OEL, I'll be very happy because he found a role there and he played well.
I think.
4 years is crazy. Oh my
Sorry,
God.
keep going. I don't mean.
No. If we get the Vancouver OEL, I think we're in trouble where he thinks he has to be the number one defenseman.
The issue with the Vancouver OEL is that Travis Green was their coach, and they didn't know how to deploy him properly. I'm much more comfortable with Craig Berube deploying OEL, because Craig Berube is the type of coach that has roles cut out for each player. Like they talk about it all the time, past Berube players, whatever. He cuts out defined roles for guys and puts people in positions to succeed. I think they'll figure a good role out. And plus, if you play him with Jake McCabe, I want to see that pairing have another try. I think Jake McCabe had a pretty bad game against Ottawa that first time. I want to see that pairing again. I'm confident in that they're gonna have a proper deployment for OEL. The biggest thing I want to see is them split the fucking power play.
Yeah. Oh my
Enough
God.
of the loading the fucking power
Holy,
play. It was so ass.
I saw the power play lines come up on my Twitter notification.
It was
today.
so
I was
ass.
Like, I was like physically mad. I was upset.
And the thing that pisses me off even more, I know I literally just praised him, but Craig Berube like downplaying it into the media.
What did he say?
Oh, they hit a dry spell. They
hit a dry spell for
every
4
single
years.
year in the playoffs.
We only had one good year of playoff power play, and that was the year we beat Tampa.
That was Spencer
Yeah.
Carberry
Yeah.
as power play coach.
Crazy
Yeah.
how when
Like-
the best players score goals, you win a series.
I know
It just
Matthews showed up.
it pissed me off so
Marner
much.
still didn't. I'd like to point that out.
On
The
he
one
did in the first round.
Barely, dude. Garbage time goals don't move me. Some Marner special. Third goal in a 7-3 loss.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to point out is that I did notice less drop passes on that power play in the preseason, which is good because I think that's Mark Savard doing his work. I do like Mark Savard as a power play coach. He literally, I remember seeing something during the offseason about how he literally has this like scrapbook of just like hundreds upon hundreds of just power play plays. So I think he'll be good.
That's good. I just wanted to touch on, we talked about all the bubble players, but we haven't mentioned Nick Robertson yet.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of a similar thing to Timothy Liljegren, where it's a little bit different because I think we all know that
I
Robertson's
think that I think they need Robertson more than they need Liljegren.
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to say I think Robertson had a good game.
Yeah, I thought he showed flashes. I wasn't overly impressed, but I thought he did show.
He started
show
the
something.
game
He's
really
got
well.
something there. He's got something there that he
I
hasn't
like
quite
Robertson,
tapped
I
into
do.
yet. I like him too.
I think literally what Craig Berube said. I've mentioned Craig Berube a few more times in the past 5 minutes than I should, but I think what he said about how if Nick Robertson just simplified his game, went in a straight line because he's got speed when he wants it.
And he's got a shot too.
Oh,
He's
man.
got a
he's got a
shot. If
wicked
he
shot.
just simplified his game and went more north-south instead of doing the fancy bullshit he tends to do sometimes,
Yeah,
he could be such an effective player.
He just needs some time and he needs a good opportunity. Cowan will probably get his 9 games this year.
I
I'm
don't
not
even
even
know.
convinced at this point.
Really?
I think it all depends on today.
I mean,
Dead
they still
ass.
got
I
more.
think it depends on today.
We got more preseason games to go. I
I know they got more preseason games,
Typical
but I think
Toronto
if
being all dramatic about preseason.
I know.
I think he
I'm
gets a
just
couple
saying,
games.
he's had 2 games and he looked all right in both of them. And today they're putting him with, what is it, Marner
and Domi.
Like, you can't get a better opportunity than that. I think if it's 3 games straight of this,
After
he's
tonight,
whatever,
they have 3 more preseason games before the opener in Montreal
they
on
might
October
give him the
9th.
rest of the preseason
They
or
had an
another
excuse
game or
vote.
2, but I don't.
They should just
I'm
play
not
him for the rest of the preseason.
Yeah.
I do have to see something more from Cowan though if
Yeah.
he's gonna want even the 9 games because I think they have guys already that could play over him.
I don't know if you guys saw this quote from Berube, but he said, Easton Cowan has put a lot of pressure on himself coming into camp. He just needs to go out and play his game tonight. He'll be with some good teammates and landmates, so he should just focus on playing his game.
Yeah. That'd be like the worst quote ever.
What do you mean?
Craig Berube.
Oh,
Just like,
yeah, he's
it's
boring.
awful for
We could take something from that though.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not surprised because he had such a big year in the OHL. He probably thought,
Yeah.
okay, like this is a year where I could break into the NHL. And I hope that if he gets cut, it doesn't affect his play once he goes back to junior. Just because like he's 19, like he's not.
I feel like,
he's not old. Like
I
he's
feel
not,
like we see it with guys sometimes where like they might go back for that second year or even that first year. They go back and they think they're good enough to make the NHL and they kind of just like Shane Wright. It's like biggest example of that where he went back to the OHL and just like didn't give a fuck because he was like I don't want to be here. I'm too good for this.
I think
And it's not even an arrogance thing. It's just like it's a mental.
I think part of it's
whatever.
arrogance as well. I can't lie to
Part
you.
of it is
like,
arrogance,
I
but-
mean, Wright got drafted so high up. He's probably like,
That's
why am
true,
I spending another year in junior?
why am I in junior?
So I
Why
mean,
the fuck am I with these kids?
yeah. So I also want to talk about. We've talked about Cowan. We've talked about Robertson. We've talked about Liljegren. I want to talk about Gurbankin.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
want to say I really liked his game.
great.
Even last game, like, I don't think he was like he had stood out, but just he does like a lot of little things right.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
He's not like doesn't get too fancy with the puck, which I
chippy.
like. Yeah, I love the
He's,
fight.
like,
I love
honestly-
the fight.
I think his ceiling's higher than a bottom 6 player, but I think even for this year, if you want him as a bottom 6 option, he fits the role.
I want him in the lineup over Reeves. I want him in the lineup over Pacioretty, to be honest with you. I want him in the
Yeah.
lineup over. I do.
There's a
we
lot.
need to see
like,
another Pacioretty game.
There's a lot of bottom 6 guys. Or
I'm not
like,
big on Pacioretty.
There's a lot of forwards competing for jobs, and
Yeah.
there just aren't that many jobs on the Leafs right now. It's.
I think
I'm really curious with what happens.
we got to definitely see another Pacioretty game. He is playing today, I'm pretty sure.
He is, yeah.
So we definitely got to see another Pacioretty
think he
game.
is.
Although he was pretty good.
He was fine. I don't know. I'm not big on Pacioretty. I think signing him
He's
was
not a
kind of
hab
useless.
anymore, man. It's okay.
I don't care. No, it's just like
It's not a hab anymore.
dude, he's so old, man. Like, and he's not fast. We've always been a slow
I think
team.
you've got a little bit of trauma from this the guy.
I
on the
don't
back of
see-
my
I don't
jersey.
know
Well,
how-
I
what's the
mean,
difference?
when you have the Joe Thornton experiment, the Jason
Wayne
Spezza
Simmons.
experiment, the Wayne
What do you mean the
Simmons
Jason and Spezza experiment?
He was
great.
actually good, but
Spezza was nice.
yeah, but like you know what I mean. They get these old ass guys. That,
I'd rather them just why can't they let Alex Steves get a run? Like just try to see what you have young guys,
That's
man.
fair.
Like
yeah,
finally you have young guys.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like give them a chance. Like
we don't need the
even
stopgaps anymore.
even Cowan, I don't think he played that. He didn't have that much ice time, if I'm not wrong. In his 2 games at the start of the preseason, like why are they sitting if you're in a preseason game?
Yeah, like Marner should not be playing that much tonight unless he's on the line. up there with Cowan.
they should not. Marner and Matthew should not be playing like
Why-
20 minutes in a preseason.
Why is the
game.
whole roster out there tonight? I don't really get like Pacioretty is playing. They got Tavares, Robertson, Marner, Domi, Neal. Like why are all these guys playing tonight? Makes no sense.
fair enough? I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I agree. I'd rather Gurbenkin on the team than Pacioretty, and I think I'd imagine he's AHL eligible this year, so he'll probably spend some time down there.
This time next year, I think for sure Gurbenkin's full-time NHLer. He just looks good.
Yeah,
Which
I mean, great. Yeah, I really like him.
We've seen Leafs preseason performances fail horribly in the regular season. Dennis Malgin, notably.
I forgot about that.
That guy was a point per game in the preseason. I was looking on Natural Stat Trick the other day just for fun at Leafs preseason stats, and that dude popped off.
Dude, yes, I want to bring up Cowan because I was struggling to find his ice time, but now I found it. In the first game, he only had 13 and a half minutes of ice time.
Put him on the fucking power play too.
But what's the point? Why are you giving Matthews? Why are you giving Marner so much time
in a preseason?
The first preseason game.
Do you know what they played?
Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, sure.
I just closed it. But yeah, I don't see the point in that when you have the preseason's for your rookies, especially when you have a team that you know what you're gonna get in the regular season. I mean, I'm not nervous about Austin Matthews' regular season production. I'm not nervous about Mitch Marner, especially Mitch Marner's regular season production because that's all he brings. But
he's gonna have a career year this year.
Yeah, because he wants money.
120 points, book it. It's happening.
Yeah,
he can go sign for $14 million.
Mitch Marner is probably the best pick anyone could have made in their fantasy.
Marner played 21 minutes in the first game of the year.
That is diabolical.
And Matthews played 20.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me.
Marner is a little more understandable because he's on the PK, but Matthews?
But not even, dude. Why are you getting Matthews?
Yeah,
don't allow them to block shots in the preseason, man. It's
especially when you're playing against the fucking Belleville Senators out there.
Who are trying their hardest to make the NHL.
Yeah.
They're gonna play hard.
Yeah, I'm
awful.
I don't get that. That's why I'm kind of it's whatever. It's just frustrating to see that prospects get buried in games where they should be playing. Matthews doesn't need these games. Martin doesn't need these games. JT does not need these games. Especially JT.
Oh my God.
Go home to your kids.
I know.
Bro.
Cowan played 14 and a half minutes of ice time last game, and I'm that's the thing that frustrates me. It's you have a lineup full of AHL guys too yesterday, and you still only found 14 and a half minutes for Cowan. Let him stay out there.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to touch on?
Yeah, I want to also talk about Stolarz and Hildeby.
Oh yeah,
they were unreal in the second game of the year. I thought the goaltending has been pretty good so far. I thought.
Yeah, I thought Wool and Murray were good too.
I thought Wool was fine, and Murray I was kind of mixed on, but I mean he hasn't played that much hockey, it's tough for him.
For a third goalie, he'll be fine.
I saw people saying Wool got shelled and he got out of position a lot, and I just don't agree at all. I thought that the Leafs were terrible in front of him. I thought he made a lot of great. I thought he made a lot of great saves, and for the first preseason game, there's not much you can do. It is what it is. A lot of people say that they're AHL guys. They are scoring on them. I mean, they're still professional hockey players.
They can still shoot the puck pretty well.
Look at Martin Marincin, dude. Any NHL player is so much better than you think.
That dangle that he had against Vancouver
off the bar, grabs the rebound, puts it in. My God,
that play is seared into my head.
Oh my God, what a fantastic goal that was.
Yeah, and I think there was one goal I didn't like that Wool allowed. It was the last goal before he got pulled for Murray because they were swinging the game. He got beat short side on a pass out to the face-off dot, and I just didn't like that. But I mean, listen, it's preseason. He's probably already mentally checked out. I haven't played in the NHL before, but I know what it's like to split a game and you're watching that clock hit down. You're all right, I'm getting out soon. I always okay, give me another shot. But I'm okay. Eventually, you get mentally checked out when it's the halfway point and it's getting time to switch.
I was gonna say Mateo's gonna be our resident goalie guy as a goalie.
Yeah.
So I can't really comment too much on what I think was a bad goal or whatever. Honestly, I rely on your opinion a lot of the time for goaltending. But
yeah, I thought the last goal wasn't great.
Yeah.
It's a pass out in front. There's no one covering him. So I mean that it's also bad defense, but you just can't allow that goal at the short side. It's a preseason. It's whatever. I said, he's probably already mentally checked out. He knows he's getting pulled at the next whistle. So that's tough too. That's a factor. But I mean, I thought Wool looked good. I thought Stolarz was unreal. I thought he was controlled in his net. I thought he looked big. He doesn't overslide, which Garrett Sparks, if you remember, he
my
did a lot.
God.
I thought
I
he
was
was
just about to say that when you said over slides
Yeah.
because Garrett Sparks, like he was never centered and he always
No,
panicked.
he never had his feet set. He always slid for every save. It was an ugly one. He was ugly to
terrified of
watch,
the puck.
but yeah, I thought Stolarz looked controlled, composed. He was in position a lot. I thought Hildeby, I'd say the same thing.
Hildeby.
There's nothing much they could really do on either of the goals. Mattinen had a terrible game. He's an AHLer,
I
but
mentioned him last
Yeah, I
podcast.
know.
yeah, he got stripped of the puck, and it was turned into on the power play, and it turned into
Big yikes.
yeah, it turned into like a partial breakaway on Hildeby, and Hildeby couldn't do much. Stolarz, I'm trying to remember back to the goal, but I remember when I was writing the game recap, I noted that there's not much you could do on the goal. Mattinen gave away the puck again in the slot, so there wasn't much they could do on the goals in the last game. I thought they looked great. I was really encouraged to see. Stolarz is going to be one I watch a lot just because he's never played more than 28 games in his career in a single season.
Yeah.
So I want to see those numbers look when he gets to
That's the
sample
biggest
size.
thing. We all know he's got at least the ability. Just
Yeah.
what's he gonna be able to play?
Yeah.
The thing is, we might also have 4 options in net, so you know what I
I
mean?
prefer if we didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how eager I am to see like Murray in.
It's someone's gonna get injured, and we're gonna see a little bit of Murray. We're gonna
eventually.
see a little bit of Hildeby too.
I'd prefer to see Hildeby than Murray, to be honest with you. I
Absolutely.
just want to see the youth come through and start putting in some games for the Leafs, just to know what we
Definitely,
have. Hildeby was unreal in the AHL last year, and I was really hoping that we were going to give him a game eventually. Like, we called him up, and there was this like,
Yeah, it was
there's
a
a
couple
whole like
times.
Cali road trip. I think he was up, and
Well, yeah, because Samsonov died
Yeah.
for 3 days.
But
Or
I
it
think
was
they
3 weeks.
they gave either Martin Jones or Joseph Wold back-to-back start. I'm like, just give
It was
Hildeby
Martin
a
Jones. It was Martin
Yeah,
Jones.
why don't you just give Hildeby a start? Like,
they-
you didn't
they-
need to play him twice.
But they beat the brakes off of Martin Jones for a month.
Oh, I know. Well,
He saved our
I was
season.
just about to say that he saved their season when they
Yeah.
were going through some injury issues. Well,
Yep.
obviously Sammy wasn't all there mentally, I think, and that's why they gave him just time to relax and send him back to the AHL. And then Wool was also injured.
Yeah.
And I thought Martin Jones played a really big role in getting the team to the playoffs last year. Because if it wasn't for him, I don't know how many points they would have finished with.
I just want to say one thing about Wool. I forgot to mention this last podcast when we were talking about him. The big issue with Wool is obviously injuries. But if you look at the past 2 injuries he's had, it's been off of literally having the craziest save you've ever seen in your goddamn life. And I think with a better defense, that should hopefully come down. So maybe that's a good sign he won't get as injured this year.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. He's not very durable. He obviously he's had injury issues even before he got to the AHL or the NHL. Sorry, he had hip surgery. I think it was right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm praying that Wool has a healthy season because I love him as a goalie. I think he's technically
he's
very
awesome.
good. Positionally, he's very good, and he has the athleticism
It's
too
just
to
so
make big
calm.
saves. Yeah,
Like we never
Yeah.
have calm goalies in Toronto.
yeah. It went from Sammy, and I was never a fan of Freddie, and I thought Jack was pretty solid, but
Jack
Campbell.
was solid, but he was that same mold as Samsonov, where they were like
I thought-
just
no.
flailing everywhere.
I think Campbell
At
was a
times.
lot more controlled.
I guess.
And I thought when Campbell needed to be athletic, he could be. But I don't think he was as bad. I thought he was a lot better than Sammy. I thought he was a lot more controlled than Sammy. But yeah.
I saw a lot of Garrett Sparks and Peter Mrazek when he was here.
Yeah. I wasn't a fan of either of those guys either. But yeah. You guys have anything else you want to talk about?
I got a game for you guys.
Here, let's
do
go. What
it.
is it?
So here's the premise of the game. I'm going to name a date and 2 teams, and you have to tell me the assets that were involved in the trade.
Oh,
Is
I'm
this
terrible
including
at that.
draft picks or just players?
It's including draft picks.
Oh,
Bonus
shit.
points if you can tell me who was picked.
Oh my god! All right.
Oh, I'm terrible at these. So you're gonna have to carry, buddy. You're gonna have to carry me here.
Okay, I can.
Actually, sorry. What are we like? Any hints available, or is that it? You're being cool. with me
I
here.
can, if you guys are really struggling, I'll help you out
let's
a little
go.
bit here. Okay, I'm going to start it off easy though. On January 28th, 2019, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Los Angeles Kings made a trade.
Jake Muzzin.
That's who went to the Leafs.
Sean
Trevor Moore.
Dursey. Sean Dursey. No, that was Jack Campbell trade.
You're right.
Not-
Sean
not
Dursey,
Trevor
Carl
Moore. Carl
Grundstrom, and a
Grundstrom.
first-round pick, which became Tobias Bjornfoot.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow,
wow,
that's crazy.
nailed it.
That's
I had a good
crazy.
feeling you were gonna get that one.
Yeah,
though.
that one. That's ingrained in my brain because of how happy I was.
yeah,
And then Babcock right after. We're gonna right-handed defenseman. Fuck you.
yeah.
Next
No,
one.
noted waiver wire
Legend.
Tobias Bjornfoot.
Tobias went to like 3 different teams in the span of a week.
You know who else did that? Or in the same
Adam
season?
Brooks, too,
Callie
I
Rosen,
remember.
dude.
Callie
Callie
Oh my God,
Rosen.
yeah.
Like, they should just keep a temporary stall for him because he always comes back.
Leafs,
yeah.
Avalanche,
St.
Leafs.
Louis.
Yeah, now he's in St. Louis.
Tobias Bjornfoot won the cup, didn't he? His name's on the cup, I think.
Is it?
Is it?
I think he was with Florida. I think he was.
I don't
know
think he
was
put
on
enough
like
games, did he?
Florida, Vegas, and LA in like the same year.
Yeah, I just remember seeing the cup engraving that I said. I saw Tobias Bjornfoot. I was
No,
like,
he wouldn't have gotten
he didn't
engraved.
count.
He only
only
played a game.
One, yeah. He only
Oh,
played one
okay,
game,
Yeah.
okay.
so.
Unless they put his
But
name
he
on
was
the cup for
on
some
the
reason.
cup-winning team.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
So-
they petitioned.
He might have
for
gone
him.
back actually to Vegas. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure.
We're spending way too much time on
On
Thomas
Tobias
Bjornfoot.
Anyways, next one. Another easier one. A couple more assets involved though. July 1st, 2015, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Phil Kessel.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember. Nick Spalding came
Nick
back,
Spalding,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Nick Spalding.
Kapanen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my
Second
god.
round pick.
There was a first round pick as well because they used that first round pick to get Freddie.
First round pick. Second round pick is involved.
Was that first round pick
Going to Pittsburgh?
Was,
Going to Pittsburgh.
Sorry, was
yeah.
that first round pick Sam Steele?
That first round pick was Sam Steele.
Okay.
All right,
But
since-
who made that pick?
Anaheim.
Yeah. And how did they get that pick?
Freddie deal, right?
Full trade tree here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you guys got Phil Kessel and a second round pick going to Pittsburgh. Nick Spalding.
We're going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
we paid them
yeah,
a second.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like
we sent the center.
It was like a 5-pick
Really?
difference there.
Yeah.
But is his name Nick Spalding or Nick Spalding?
I think it's
Spalding, I
Spalding.
think.
I don't know.
I got. Let me look
Anyways,
it up.
that guy.
Was Scott Harrington involved in that deal?
You've got Kasperi Kapanen, the first round pick. Scott Harrington.
It's Spalding.
What a pull.
It's Spalding.
It is Spalding.
Yeah.
Okay. Scott
And-
Harrington.
Okay, so there's one more asset going to the Leafs, and there's 2 more going to the Penguins.
Did we send a 7th round pick?
No more draft picks
It's
going
just
to the Penguins.
players.
It's just players going to the
Are
Penguins.
these just like these are just dog shit players? No.
Yeah. Brian Burke era draft picks.
I'm trying to think. 2015.
Stuart Percy.
Not Stuart Pearcy, but along those lines.
Tyler Biggs.
Tyler Biggs is
Oh my
one of them.
God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. He went to Pittsburgh, right?
He went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
There was a
because
pick
we
that went to the
drafted him.
Leafs too.
Fucking obvious.
I can just give you the pick because I don't think you're going to
Yeah,
be able to
just
pull it
probably
out.
not.
There's a 2016 third rounder that became J.D. Greenway.
Oh, okay.
JD Greenway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but
And
JD Greenway.
there's one more asset. I believe he was a defenseman, like irrelevant player. I don't even know how much this guy's played in the NHL.
you're
How long
gonna
was
have
he with the Marlies?
Let me find out.
Sorry, he went to the Leafs, correct?
He went to the Penguins.
Oh, he went to the Penguins.
He played 15 games for the Leafs in 14-15. He never played for the Marlies, actually. He was drafted 23rd overall in 2009 by the Calgary Flames. You guys are not going to get this. I'm just going to give it to you.
to- Yeah.
Tim
No.
Erickson.
Yeah, I would have never. I've never heard that name in my
was
life.
not
I
getting
can't lie to
Seriously?
you. Yeah.
I've heard of that name. I was not getting that at all. All right. Well,
This
all right.
one's
You got
fairly
one
on
more?
topic. I got 4 more.
4 more. Okay.
more.
They're a little
Let's do
smaller,
it.
though.
Keep
Let's do
running.
2 more. Let's do 2
Two
more.
more, yeah.
Okay.
Pick your best 2.
Okay. February 24th, 2020. Maple Leafs and Avalanche make a trade at the trade deadline.
Wait, 2020?
2020. I'll give you a hint.
Is that the Michael Hutchinson
Is this
trade?
a Michael Hutchinson trade?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That's the Michael
yeah. I
Kelly
remember that
Rosen
deal.
was the other.
Yeah, Kelly Rosen.
Okay. But
There was a
In-
pick as well.
no, that's everything. What
Oh.
direction?
What do you mean, what
We got
direction?
Michael Hutchinson.
No,
we gave that
other
Michael
way
Hutchinson.
around.
Hutchinson because he
Yeah.
had an insanity run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about this, and I was like, oh, what if I do this one? And I was like, wait, Hutchinson. I thought we traded Rosen for Hutchinson.
No,
but I think we did
Around.
in another trade. I think they were traded for each other in another trade. I might be wrong.
I don't think so. Didn't we pick him from?
We got him from Florida the first time.
We've had him 3 times.
Didn't
though.
we have him from Winnipeg at one point? Did he ever play for? He played for
He
Winnipeg.
played for the Jets. I have a
He
rookie
played for the
Michael
Jets, but
Hutchinson card
he was
with the
on
Bruins, too.
Florida when we got him. I don't think he was on Winnipeg. He was on Winnipeg for a while, but
He was
he
a
went
Jet,
to Florida.
He was
we
a
traded.
Panther. He was a Bruin.
We traded
He was the
him. We
Bruin, I
traded
forgot
for him
about that.
from Florida. I
He was
think
the
we
Red
kept
one,
him
too.
for the next year. He was shit.
Yeah, he was with Florida.
Yeah, he was with Florida. We got him.
He played well when he got here.
When he went to Colorado.
5 games, 9-14, in 18-19.
He went to Colorado, and then we sent him to Columbus. No, we sent him to Vegas, or did he sign? No, he signed in
He
Vegas.
signed in Vegas. We let him go.
What?
Okay.
The hell?
All
right,
Michael
next
Hutchinson.
one.
What a guy.
I can give you 2 more because one of them you might actually be able to get, and one of them's kind of dumb.
All right.
Okay.
Give us the one that we could get.
Yeah, July 28th, 2021. Carolina and Edmonton make a trade.
Ethan Bear for Warren Fogle. Warren Fogle.
Say his name right. Yep, you got it.
Wow.
And here's the
That was
dub one.
1-for-1. Yeah.
January 5th, 2022.
Yeah.
The Penguins and Hawks make a trade.
January 5th, 2022.
And I'll give you a
Penguins-
hint. Both of these players have been.
Is this
on the
Sam
Leafs.
Lafferty for Alex Nylander?
How the
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. What the
get
fuck?
that? How did you get
Dude,
that?
you need to go
I just
outside, man.
remember that
Jesus.
I didn't even know that trade
Right
happened.
hand to God, I didn't know about this before.
He didn't.
Alright, that's a good place to end off here.
Yeah,
Seth,
it
you need
is.
to go outside, buddy. Oh my god. Alright,
I
guys,
like
thank you
scouring hockey BB.
Thank you for listening to the pod. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again soon.
Cheers.
Thank you.